This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome to DRTSPR show. This is Dr. Tangella Shiva Prasad Reddy alias Dr. TSPR. Namaste, Adab, hello, and a warm welcome to Ravichandran Swaminathan ji once again on an important topic. The Parliament is discussing no confidence motion. All political parties tomorrow they have to respond on Manipur issue. It is a sad incident. Fine, law is not taken its due course. The women folk suffering, and that has to be discussed, no question. Last time too in the parliament, on some not the other issue, the parliament did not discuss which is more important to a common man. Price rise, no discussions. Unemployment, no discussions. Banks giving out lakhs of crores of loans to corporates and their entities, and they have become non-performant assets, and their loans are waived off, no discussion. When that is not happening, they say inflation. And tomatoes, the rate of tomatoes now, even today, Mr. Modi and the government and all political parties, Rahul Gandhi, the rate of vegetables has gone high. Is farmer getting any benefit? Is farmer getting the price for his produce? And when we are going to buy, we are paying more. Then who are benefiting? The hoarders. You have allowed hoarders to store them, and they are regulating the market shamelessly. This they don't want to discuss at all. Education, health, everything has become costlier. You don't discuss. Jan Vishwas bill, you have put the lives of Indian citizens at the doorstep of pharmacies. Now no criminal activity in regards to pharmaceuticals. Even if you die, even if you take side effects because of the drugs, no criminalization. Same thing with biodiversity. With human beings, you have done that. With biodiversity, you have opened biodiversity. All the natural resources will be looted. No criminalization, no criminalities. So, health, citizens of India gone, and then wealth, natural resources gone. What are opposition parties doing shamelessly? Shame on them. And ruling party shamelessly introducing everything which is detrimental to India. India means citizens, every citizen, that is India, and all the resources, natural resources belonging to every citizen. The India means citizens and its resources, rights. Then you say welfare and development, everything they are legislating. Bills are being passed. Jan Vishwas biodiversity bill, opposition party doesn't discuss. I don't understand whether Rahul Gandhi, Mamata Banerjee, or Sharad Pawar, or All India Majlis Ittihadul Muslimin, he claims himself to be a barrister, Mr. Owaisi, and their Samajwadi Party, all those parties who are there in the parliament, are you aware of what is happening in the parliament? How bills are being passed? Or else you all become one, because electoral bonds, the corporates or companies which sponsor or which pay money to these political parties, now it is opaque. That means no citizen cannot get any information. That means you all have become one, serving the corporate interests of pharmacy, insurance, and other corporates. Why? Because Jan Vishwas gone, no discussion. Similarly, biodiversity bill, such huge bills which are going to enslave India once for all. And in that due course is the data privacy or data protection bill. Now, is it data protection or data procurement? In lines of Jan Vishwas and biodiversity, after enslaving you on the health and your resources, now they want to enslave you once for all by infringing on your fundamental rights. That is the right to privacy. That means your total India will be enslaved forever. Happily, these political parties, politicians keep on discussing that issue which is important. But what about these issues? Why are you allowing bills to be passed? And where is BJP? Every parliament member and their entire hierarchy will be responsible tomorrow as to how you are allowing these bills without any discussion. that these important bills pertaining to every citizen and their resources should be discussed right from panchayat, municipalities, municipal corporations, legislative assemblies, and then on the floor of the parliament after making every citizen understand. And I don't know BRS, the chief ministers, Mr. KCR and Tamil Nadu chief minister, I don't understand Mr. Stalin, or for that matter communist parties, the Kerala chief minister Pinarayi Vijayan. Are you aware of what is happening? For that reason, we have taken this bill in protest against what is happening in Parliament, in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, where public issues are not discussed. So there is no opposition. That is why ruling party is happily passing every bill. मन मानी हो गया, इसीलिए वहां प्रतिपक्ष नहीं है. ऐसे कई मुद्दे जो हमारे हर एक नागरिक और नागरिक के जो भी हम नेचुरल सहज सिद्ध जो रिसोर्सेस कहते हैं, उनके ऊपर बिल के ऊपर बिल लाया जा रहा, कोई वहां पर चर्चा नहीं होती, ना पार्लियामेंट में होती, ना पंचायत में होती, ना पुरपालक शाखा म्युनिसिपैलिटीज में होती. इसीलिए हम आज डाटा जो समाचार आपका है, आपका समाचार किस तरह चोरी किया जा रहा है, आपके समाचार को सुरक्षित रखने वाला बिल, लेकिन वो समाचार बिल जो है सुरक्षित रखेगा या आपका पूरा निजी समाचार चोरी हो जाएगा. क्योंकि आरोग्य नाम पे जनविश्वास और हमारे रिसोर्सेस, नेचुरल रिसोर्सेस के नाम पे बायोडाइवर्सिटी, दोनों बिल हमको गुलामी कर दिया और बाकी बच्चे जो भी है हमारे हक और हमारे जीने का हक, और वो भी छीन लिया जा रहा है. प्रतिपक्ष इसके ऊपर बात नहीं करता, लोकसभा बात नहीं करता. इसलिए डॉक्टर दिया टीएसपीआर चैनल्स ऐसे अतिथिगण रविचंद्रन स्वामीनाथन जी जैसे अतिथिगण से ये चर्चा हम प्रजाहित में लेकर आ रहे हैं ताकि आप चौकन्ने हो जाए, वरना सब कुछ चला जाएगा, गुलामी गुलाम बन के रहेंगे. Yes sir, your forward before I start showing.
Good morning, Dr. Reddy, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to use your platform to express my opinion. So, starting with an opinion, disclaimer, this is my opinion. Tomorrow, dear TSPR channel should not be held responsible for it. I will start out with just one quotation from Benjamin Franklin. Those who give up essential freedom for the sake of a little safety and comfort do not deserve either the safety or the comfort or the freedom. It is better they become slaves. Today, because of this data protection bill, we are losing our right to privacy. So, it is on this topic that I want to elaborate today. It has got far-reaching implications. In the preamble to the Constitution, when the Constitution was formed by great people, the word privacy was not specifically mentioned because privacy became part of the preamble of the Constitution under the word dignity. By the Justice Puttaswamy government, by the Justice Puttaswamy court case in Supreme Court, the Supreme Court declared that right to privacy is a fundamental right, or in other words, privacy, which is a primordial right, which is yours and mine by birth, by our nature. Now that has become a fundamental right, which means the government can restrict it or constrain it in any manner. This is the direct implication of the Supreme Court verdict in the Justice Puttaswamy court. I had expressed my opinion against it even then. The second aspect of it is the government has introduced the Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023. Without a Right to Privacy Act, the Digital Data Protection Act carries no meaning. It does not protect the privacy of the citizen. what in effect this act has done is essentially to legalize the processing of data by an individual, by a data processor. This is what the act has done. Or in other words, it is purely directed at the commercial, in protecting the commercial interest of all data processors or aggregators, whatever. And in that process, the personal data of an individual is compromised. And because it is compromised, the right to privacy is affected. That is why I requested you to put the title as Digital Personal Data Procurement Act. It is not a Protection Act. It has protected all those who procure the data, including the government. And this data is a dilution of the earlier act that was proposed. It is unfortunate that the bill has been passed without much of a debate in the Lok Sabha. And I can only blame the opposition parties for it. With their single-minded focus on getting Prime Minister Modi to talk about Manipur conflict, they have lost sight of the bigger picture. And this data protection bill has been passed without any debate, which is very unfortunate. Now, so with this, we can start our program, Dr. Reddy. You want me to continue? I'll continue.
Yeah, I'm just trying to read this, which is there. I'm trying. 6 years in the making, data protection bill gets through Lok Sabha in less than an hour. Shame, shame, shame. The bill, which has been in the making for 6 years, was passed in the lower house after discussion lasting just about 50 minutes, involving the participation of 8 MPs. It's a shame. Meanwhile, the majority of the opposition members, including the Congress, which has been critical of the bill, continued their protests over the Manipur situation in the well. On average, each of the MPs got under 3 minutes to speak on the bill. Congress and all opposition parties, you are responsible now. कांग्रेस से का साथ पूरे प्रतिपक्ष दल, आप जवाबदारी हो भारत के लिए, क्योंकि आप इंडिया नाम से आप जाना चाहते हैं. वही इंडिया माने नागरिक, और नागरिक के संबंधित जो भी है उनके सहज मूल रिसोर्सेस, और साथ में उनका हक. क्या आप उनके हक का भंगन हो रहा है? उनका आरोग्य सूत्र, आरोग्य जीने का हक और जीने का चिकित्सा का भंगन हो रहा है, और साथ में उनके जो रिसोर्सेस है, पानी से लेके हवा तक, उसके ऊपर भी सब कुछ वहां पर छूट हो रही है. बिल के ऊपर बिल. कांग्रेस और प्रतिपक्ष क्या कर रहे हैं आप? और कोई जवाबदारी नहीं है, क्योंकि आप इसको नजरअंदाज किया है केवल मोदी मोदी को बात करने के लिए. मणिपुर के इश्यू, वो भी अहम मुद्दा है. हम मानते हैं महिलाओं का आत्मसम्मान, परंतु इसके साथ में आप इस तरह हर एक बिल किस तरह पारित हो रही है लोकसभा और राज्यसभा में? क्या आप सब लोग मिलजुल कर भारत को बेच देना चाह रहे क्या? गुलामगिरी के दौर पर हर एक नागरिक, भारत के नागरिक को लाने की ये बड़ी साजिश है क्या? आप क्या जवाब दोगे मोदी के सहित सभी प्रतिपक्ष, बीजेपी के सहित? इसीलिए ये मुद्दा अहम मुद्दा है. नो डाटा, आई हैव ए राइट टू नो. यहां पर देखिए, जो कमर्शियल है वो पूरा आपका निजी समाचार लेके जाएगा. और ये जो बिल पारित हुआ है उनको मजबूत करने के लिए, जिस तरह जन विश्वास के बिल के नाम पर आपका पूरा आरोग्य फार्मेसी के हाथ में दे दिया गया, और बायोडाइवर्सिटी के बिल के तहत आपके पूरे रिसोर्सेस कारपोरेट कंपनीज के तहत दे दिया गया. और क्या बचाता ये हमारे निजी मामले का, हक का मामला, उसको भी खत्म किया गया. बड़ी साजिश. लेकिन प्रतिपक्ष चुपचाप, कोई चर्चा नहीं होती. इस तरह हम चुपचाप बैठे. ये देखिए, कोई डेटा नहीं, मुझे जानने का अधिकार है, ये बोलता है. देखिए, मोदी जी बोल रहे हैं यहां पर, डेटा संरक्षण बिल. डेटा संरक्षण बिल लेकिन आपका निजी समाचार वो लोग उठा के ले जाएंगे बिना आपको, बिना आपका ये विरोधी आहे, आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू, गलत कहने से कोई बीजेपी विरोध नहीं होता, ठीक है, दिस आर जस्ट कमेंट्स, बट दिस इज सच ए बिग बिल passed without any discussion. This is what I wanted to show. Yes sir, we will just go ahead with the, kindly go ahead sir.
Right. Now this is a very important cartoon. What cartoon you have put here is very important, because the Data Protection Act is going to amend the RTI Act, Right to Information Act. Dr. Reddy, you were asking for the qualifications of the Prime Minister, for which you are not getting an answer.
Not at all. Election Commission of India shamelessly, and I have shared this thing to all political parties in India. No one speaks about it.
Nobody speaks about it, because now what they have done is, they have taken, government has taken cognizance of your queries. Government has taken cognizance of your queries. That is why in the Data Protection Bill, they have amended the Right to Information Act, which says that personal data cannot be shared.
How can it be personal? He is the Prime Minister.
I'm sorry, sir. According to the Act, it is personal data. He may be the Prime Minister, but according to the Act, it is personal data. So you can, the data can be refused to you. For that matter, any public figure, right to information will protect every public figure from disclosing the personal data. On the grounds it is personal. Now, coming back to this personal data bill, the preamble of the bill says that it is provide for the processing of digital personal data, which recognizes both the right of individuals to protect their data and the need to process personal data for lawful purposes. Who is going to define what is lawful?
Wonderful.
Today, if the government says, I want your data to prepare a vaccine, now whether I like it or not, I have to give my data. Is it lawful?
That's it.
So who defines what is lawful? Is the government going to decide what is lawful? Then why have this personal data bill at all? In the definition side, automated means any digital process capable of operating automatically in response to instructions given. Now, suppose the instruction is given by an artificial intelligence, will this data protection bill apply? It will not apply, because there is no mention of that. Harm. The personal data bill defines harm to a data principle as any bodily harm, distortion or theft of identity, harassment, prevention of lawful gain or loss, and they have defined laws also. But what about the harm caused to a person mentally or psychologically? If there is a personal data involving me and which has been taken away from me, causes me a mental trauma or a psychological effect on me, then this act will not apply, because it does not define harm as a mental or a psychological effect on an individual. This is a very big lacuna. These are the things that the opposition should have raised in the parliament. Unfortunately, they didn't do it. Now, what are the grounds for processing personal data, digital personal data? Again, a person may process the personal data of a principal only in according to provisions of this act, fine. For a lawful purpose. What is lawful? That only the government will decide.
What is lawful? That's what I just
lawful?
wanted to show you
lawful?
here, because I asked about him, and not only that, even 2018 election commission petition, because election commission has made a fox pass in preponing, in helping one political party in power. I said this is not a free and fair election. They kept quiet. So I just wanted to show you, because what is lawful here, as you rightly mentioned, I have raised a complaint. See, this is the complaint. This is the complaint which I have raised to Election Commission of India. Right from April before also. Still EC is yet to act after complaint ID, Election Commission of India, complaint regarding Honorable Prime Minister Modi's educational qualification code complaint. The complaint number so and so, open on 11/4/2023. Today is 9th August, Quit India Movement Day. So we are asking through this channel, quit all these illegalities by all these constitutional bodies, including courts as well as the Election Commission of India and all the other bodies. I am asking here, action taken but escalating to higher. No action within time limits. ECI clarify, as it is most important. I have asked them clearly, see here, as a Election Commission of India has to clarify on qualification of Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi, as it has become a topic of debate in all circles, because I'm right from Aam Aadmi Party, all political parties have been making fun of him. And as a concerned citizen, I felt bad. That is why I have written to Election Commission of India. Why? Because in Election Commission of India's affidavit, he has accepted that there is one here, as a concerned citizen and voter, request ECI to unravel the truth by investigating, if need be, or forensically clarify the certificates of Mr. Modi, the Honorable Prime Minister of India, that he has studied degree and then he has taken MA degree from Delhi University. I am sharing many links in the body of the mail in the public domain, becoming viral, including comments from Mr. Narendra Modi, estranged wife on the same. PM in affidavit states that Mrs. Jashoda Ben is his wife. He accepts her as his wife. Am I right, sir? And she herself,
Yeah.
what is she saying? See, in poll affidavit, Narendra Modi says Jashoda Ben is his wife. And now onwards, even this such an information cannot be shared by anyone. She
Yeah,
clearly challenged him. Yes, sir.
it's a personal matter, personal
Now it
data.
becomes a personal. But when he has shared this in election affidavit, how can this will become personal matter, Mr. Amit Shah or
Uh,
Mr. Modi and opposition parties? How is that you are allowing? That means all of you are gang together so that people should not know anything about you. How much you have earned before you entered, how much you have made after you entered politics. She clearly challenged them, stating that she was in Delhi University and she did not find Mr. Narendra Modi there, while reminding that degrees were handwritten, then not typed or digitalized during that period. Is it not a big exposure? She clearly stating there was no digital degree or handwritten, only handwritten, not typed degrees that time. And she says she has never found Narendra Modi when she was studying there in Delhi University. What is the truth then? Perturbed at the happenings vis-a-vis PM Narendra Modi's education qualifications, I am writing to Election Commission of India for clarification and direction. It is the question of pride and honor of Prime Minister and his office in ruling vis-a-vis Constitution of India, honorable citizen in Republic. My earlier complaints with legal evidences since 2018 on constitutional violations, defeating free and fair election, mocking people participated democracy, still to be acted upon. Assemblies and Lok Sabha completed their terms or tenure, still no action except issuing complaint IDs or promising action. This also, earlier affidavits also I am sharing with them. Till 3 o'clock, 25%, 20% polling, and 1.5 day after they announce it, 60 to 70%. I have asked them, where is the video of each polling booth? That time Mr. Rajat Kumar was there in Telangana, Chief Electoral Officer. I am giving example. And then 14A and 14C, 14A register you sign, every voter will sign before he goes and votes. And then 14C, along with the agent, the polling officers close the box and they sign. I demanded forensic appraisals of that video footage of every booth along with 14A and 14C registers, so that truth can be out. How is that till 3 o'clock 20% polling? And that day, December 7, 2018, evening itself, they should have announced polling percentage. They did not announce in Telangana, but they announced a day after the polling percentage has gone to 60 to 70%. Then I asked all those who were in the queue till 5 o'clock, if they were made to vote, they have to vote it till tomorrow morning, next day morning. That means December 8, 2018. The same thing has happened in Andhra Pradesh. That video footage is there. But how is that this video footage, along with 14A and 14C appraisals, have still not been made clear till today by Election Commission of India? I've written to President of India, Prime Minister, all political parties, they are silent. The same thing happened in 2019 Lok Sabha in Hyderabad Parliament. Till 3 o'clock, minimum percentage for Hyderabad Lok Sabha. Again, the same evening, they did not announce. Next day, they have announced. How is that the polling percentage has increased? Did anyone stand in the queue till the next day and voted? Because till 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, if the voting percentage is 20%, and if it has to go for 60%, 40%, that means the entire day and night they have to vote. Where are the visuals? Nothing. Even the electoral malpractices petitions were filed. VVT pads were thrown out in Vikarabad. In another constituency in Nalgonda, polled votes and actually votes which were there in that booth, polled votes were more than actual voters. And even in the counting, it was made up. See, all these malpractices, is it not because of the high percentage of the voting than the normal voting? And they are failed to certify that. Election Commission of India till today. The same thing they are doing with Mr. Prime Minister's educational qualification. He is my Prime Minister. I have got a right to know. He is an elected representative. He himself claims his wife's name in his affidavit, and he says BA and MA degrees he has studied. And when someone is making allegations, his own wife Ashura stating that Narendra Modi has never come to Delhi University, and those degrees which they are showing digitalized or typed, they were never there during that time. She says they are farji, they are false degrees. Don't you think Election Commission of India immediately should have acted? Why? Because a Prime Minister is supposed to legislate in the Parliament. He has to pass the bills. Now I am asking, is it not because of this reason Prime Minister is being taken for a ride? Even they are feeding him through teleprompter, and that is the reason why Jan Vishwas, biodiversity and data privacy bills are being passed without any debate, affecting entire India, citizens and their resources. So I'm just showing the evidences also I have pulled in with this. See, PM's low qualifications dangerous for country. Manish Sisodia's letter. He is jailed, but he is an elected representative. He has already written. I've quoted this to Election Commission in my affidavit. And here also you see. Amit Shah and Arun Jaitley flashed PM Narendra Modi's DU degree, Delhi University. Shah and Jaitley presented copies of mark sheets and degree certificates of BA from Delhi University and MA from Gujarat University awarded to Modi. When he was not at all there in Delhi, BA, as claimed by his own wife Ashoda, from where did they get this MA? And during that period, see, digitalized certificates, were they there? How is that Election Commission of India is keeping quiet? The President of India, is it not making mockery? And all these politicians, political parties, why they have given up this issue, major issue? Another one. All these evidences have pulled into Election Commission of India. See, Master of Arts. Are you able to watch it, Mr. Ravichandran ji?
Yeah, I am able to do it.
Is it digitalized degree? Which he says it was never there. Which university, from where did he get? Why Election Commission of India is keeping quiet? Now see what his wife has to do.
यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ी हूँ, मैंने बीएससी, एमएससी, एलएलबी वहीं से की, और जो मेरा पीरियड है पढ़ाई का, जब नरेंद्र मोदी की एमए की डिग्री बताते हैं, उसी पीरियड की बताते हैं, बीए और एमए की। तो मेरे से ज्यादा कौन जानेगा कि यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर मोदी था कि नहीं? अरुण जेटली तो मेरे कोलीग थे, विजय गोयल मेरे कोलीग थे, ये सब तो मेरे साथ ही पढ़ते थे, ये एबीवीपी में थे, मैं ऑल इंडिया स्टूडेंट फेडरेशन करती थी, मैं सभी एनएसवाई के, एबीवीपी के, एसवाईएस समाजवादी युव जनसभा के, एसएफआई के, आईएसएफ के सब नेताओं को जानती थी और जानती हूँ, जो अलग अलग जगहों पे नेतृत्व कर रहे हैं। मैंने जितनी डिग्रियां पास की वो सारी हस्तलिखित है, क्योंकि उस जमाने में हाथ से डिग्री लिखी जाती थी, तो फिर नरेंद्र मोदी की डिग्री टाइप डिग्री कहां से आ गया?
मैं हैरान हूं।
पूछिए इनसे, इनसे ये पूछिए कि जब टाइप भी कराना था तो निकम्मों कम से कम सोच तो लेते। जो फॉन्ट टाइपिंग का कंप्यूटर पे फॉन्ट अभी हिंदुस्तान में दुनिया में आया भी नहीं था, वो डिग्री उस फॉन्ट में टाइप करके उनको दी गई है।
ये फंस गया सीएम।
मैं दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी
Sir, now what do you want? Such a big evidence as Election Commission of India. Shame. She clearly states it was only handwritten degree, and she studied. She never found Mr. Modi, and she says the computer which was used, there were no computers during that time. What is the biggest evidence you want other than this? Jashoda Ben, he exclaimed himself to be his wife in his own election affidavit. Why other political parties are keeping quiet? These type of things will never come out if this data privacy bill is passed by Rajya Sabha, if this becomes an act. That is the reason why after my complaint, as is claimed by Mr. Ravichandran ji, they are rushing through this. I'm playing this again.
कर रहे हैं। मैंने जितनी डिग्रियां पास की वो सारी हस्तलिखित है, क्योंकि उस जमाने में हाथ से डिग्री लिखी जाती थी। तो फिर नरेंद्र मोदी की डिग्री टाइप डिग्री कहां से आ गया?
मैं हैरान हूं।
पूछिए इनसे, इनसे ये पूछिए कि जब टाइप भी कराना था तो निकम्मों कम से कम सोच तो लेते। जो फॉन्ट टाइपिंग का कंप्यूटर पे फॉन्ट अभी हिंदुस्तान में दुनिया में आया भी नहीं था, वो डिग्री उस फॉन्ट में टाइप करके उनको दी गई है।
ये फंस गया सीएम।
मैं दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ी हूँ। मैंने बीएससी, एमएससी, एलएलबी वहीं से की, और जो मेरा पीरियड है पढ़ाई का, जब नरेंद्र मोदी की एमए की डिग्री बताते हैं उसी पीरियड की बताते हैं, बीए और एमए की। तो मेरे से ज्यादा कौन जानेगा कि यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर मोदी था कि नहीं? अरुण जेटली तो मेरे कोलीग थे, विजय गोयल मेरे कोलीग थे, ये सब तो मेरे साथ ही पढ़ते थे, ये एबीवीपी में थे, मैं ऑल इंडिया स्टूडेंट फेडरेशन करती थी। मैं सभी एनएसवाई के, एबीवीपी के, एसवाईएस समाजवादी युव जनसभा के, एसएफआई के, आईएसएफ के सब नेताओं को जानती थी और जानती हूँ, जो अलग अलग जगहों पे नेतृत्व कर रहे हैं। मैंने जितनी डिग्रियां पास की वो सारी हस्तलिखित है, क्योंकि उस जमाने में हाथ से डिग्री लिखी जाती थी। तो फिर नरेंद्र मोदी की डिग्री टाइप डिग्री कहां से आ गया?
मैं हैरान हूं।
पूछिए इनसे, इनसे ये पूछिए कि जब टाइप भी कराना था तो निकम्मों कम से कम सोच तो लेते। जो फॉन्ट टाइपिंग का कंप्यूटर पे फॉन्ट अभी हिंदुस्तान में दुनिया में आया भी नहीं था, वो डिग्री उस फॉन्ट में टाइप करके उनको दी गई है।
ये फंस गया सीएम।
मैं दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ी।
Yeah, and I'm sharing it for the public to go ahead and question, is it not for this reason this data privacy bill is being bought and opposition is keeping quiet? My complaint number also I'm giving you. Election Commission of India gave me the complaint number as 633 FE2A E257F on 11/4/2023. What happened to this complaint? And likewise, since 2018, the elections farce in Telangana, 18 complaint IDs were given. Along with 18 complaint IDs, even August 5th, 2020, when Mr. Bobde was there as Chief Justice of India, it was almost taken as a public interest litigation bill. But immediately, why Supreme Court kept it aside? What the same reflection now in Telangana, the same ruling party has become so dare enough. They are selling away all lands in and around Hyderabad. They are coming up with new things, even knowing that the elections are to be held very shortly. Election Commission of India in a sleeping mode, helping all those who are looting our resources or who are trying to give us false information in their affidavits too. Yes, sir. I think, as you rightly said, because you reminded me, and what else India wants. Is this not for this reason this act is being rushed through? No one wants to discuss on the floor of the parliament. Why? Because after November 18th demonetization, all political parties and their funding agencies have been caught by Mr. Narendra Modi. Is this because out of this fear? They are not able to raise public issues and also the important qualification issue of the Honorable Prime Minister. In spite of all the evidences, Election Commission of India keeping quiet. Right from 2018, we have proved with evidences that the voting percentage was not at all there, and all those 14A and 14C registers along with video footage will expose that voting percentage which has happened on December 7, 2018. The same thing replicated in 2019 Lok Sabha for Hyderabad also. I gave them why Election Commission of India kept quiet, and in between there were many elections wherein alcohol, money was used. Their own agencies, CBI, ED, caught so much of money. That money trail, what happened to that? Election Commission of India, their own officers were there in Munugodu. It has accepted Munugodu, their own election officers, that money, illegal money was caught. Instead of countermanding Munugodu election, they said we will not allow this thing to happen again. That was the message which they gave me. Shame on it. Because I am a concerned citizen, I am a voter. How is that you are not allowing me to have a government which is elected in a free and fair way without violating the basic structure of constitution? Because your Election Commission of India is allowing all these political parties to just violate and to entice people with this ill-gotten money. As they are selling away HMDA lands, they are keeping quiet. New policies are being made. From where will they get money? And existing in and around Hyderabad, HMDA, Hyderabad Metro Development Authority, under BRS government of KCR and KTR, they are selling away lands. They are just selling away. It's a public property. Government is just a trustee. HMDA, they are all custodians. Tomorrow they will face the music. Yes, sir.
Now coming back to this Digital Data Protection Act, the government can permit processing of data in the interest of public interest. Now one of the clauses of public interest is false dissemination of false facts. For that purpose, this personal data can be processed for preventing dissemination of false statements of fact. Now, what is false? That the government will decide. Now, Dr. Reddy, you have been talking about the qualifications of the Prime Ministers. Under this Act, your personal data can be processed by the government without taking your consent, for preventing you from disseminating false facts.
Wonderful. That is why I have shared. That is why I have shared the evidences to the world now.
No, 1 minute. You have shared the evidences. That is, I don't deny that. But whether the evidence is correct or not is to be decided by the government.
Chori
or
decide
the court. So till then they can harass you. So this is the result of this Data Protection Act. Now now they say that this can be applied if the personal data is processed outside India, in countries which are specifically mentioned by the Government of India. How can the Government of India apply laws to countries outside the boundary of India when there is no compatibility in the definitions, basic definitions itself on privacy and data protection? There is no compatibility, there is no international agreement on what is privacy, what is data. For example, in China, where is the concept of privacy?
Yes.
So
this
where
government,
is the notion of
this government and corporates deals extensively with China now.
with China now, and your data is being processed outside in China, then how can India operate its laws in China?
Paytm, Adani, Paytm, who is the partner of Paytm? Let Modi clear it.
Now, when you go to a bank, now they say that any person or any data fiduciary who is asking for what do you call that data from you, they have to give an itemized list of the data that they want and for what purpose it is going to be used. Now my question is, you go to a bank to open an account and they ask you for your address proof and ID proof, identity proof, and they tell that you give the Aadhaar card. Now my Aadhaar card contains the biometrics also. My question is, can I redact the biometrics? Can I remove the biometrics and give the Aadhaar card to them? Will they accept it? Because in they have not mentioned that biometrics are required to identify you.
Oh, so loophole.
Now, if I don't give my Aadhaar card, then the bank will say you cannot open an account here. Or in other words, there is no voluntary consent to share my personal data. Now I am being forced to share my personal data to avail a service provided by the bank. This is a contradiction of the law. Where is the protection for my personal data? How can I protect my personal data? Because if I want to avail a public service, I have to furnish it. Now, my ration card or my if I produce my ration card as an ID proof, it has got details of my wife and children.
Yes.
Now, why should I give it to the bank to enable them to open an account?
Yes. When you have Aadhaar and biometrics already.
Yeah. Now, see, now this is a problem that is going to arise. Now, another issue which concerns you also. I open an account in a bank. And in that bank, I have some problem with the manager, I close the account. Now, I have shared my personal data with the bank while opening the account. So, 6 months afterwards, I close the account. In normal circumstances, the bank will have to deliver, according to this act, the bank will have to delete all the personal details that they have collected about me at the time of opening the account. But the Banking Act says that they have to retain this data for a certain period.
Wonderful.
Now, which will apply?
Mr. Modi and Amit Shah have to clarify. No.
Second thing, the data that I have shared with the bank is there, it is available on my account page, correct? Now, this account page and the transactions that I have done there, maybe I have taken a loan, maybe I have taken a credit card, I have closed it and all that. Now, this data has gone to CIBIL.
That's what. That is another looter, that fellow, looter-friendly fellow.
Yes. Now it has gone to CIBIL. Okay, now the bank has deleted the data, but where is the guarantee that CIBIL will delete the data?
It will never. We have already experienced, that is Credit
We have
Information
already
Bureau of
experienced
India
it. It is
Limited.
not going to
That is a
delete it.
cheating organization, useless organization. You have to blacklist them. And if CIBIL is correct, how is that those Ambani, that Anil Ambani had got a loan, and along with, I'm not taking names, when he has insolvency, when they are filed, how is that they are getting fresh loans and he gets 30,000 crore offset from Rafael? Mr. Modi takes him along with him everywhere when he has filed insolvency petitions. Mr. Modi and Amit Shah, and here, because I am trying to gather information, you are trying to corner me, as you rightly said, through financial this thing. They have blocked cards. When I've complained to RBI, President of India, Prime Minister, including Finance Minister, they don't want to act in spite of providing evidences, as I have done with the complaint to Election Commission on Mr. Modi's qualifications, or December 7, 2018 election complaint on constitutional violations. I provide evidences. I don't go and try to personally this thing. I collect all the evidences as a concerned citizen, as a responsible citizen. I do it. But what are you trying to do? Take CIBIL, and CIBIL is harassing. And who the hell CIBIL are? What are their credentials first?
No, 1 minute, 1 minute. There's another issue over here. The government says that the data that is collected in India for the purpose of processing the data, it is being done in India, the Act will apply. And it will also apply for the data which is collected by an outsider outside India and processed there. Now, CIBIL is a TransUnion entity, TransUnion incorporated company which is operating in America under American laws. American law says that whatever data that they process or they collect should be kept in America. Now, is India agreeing that the data, personal data of every citizen in India can be held by a private organization in America? And suppose that private organization decides to give this data to somebody else for processing or for some other purpose, for monetary purposes, how can government of India take action against that company? They will simply say that we are an American company. Our laws permit it. Or in other words, how are they going to implement this act against people like TransUnion or Google or Twitter or Facebook? What is the point in creating an act which you cannot implement?
Maybe just keeping in Adani and the Hindenburg law in their mind, Hindenburg law.
अरे बाबा ये इनको छोड़ देना. You forget about Adani, you forget about Ambani, you forget about everybody else. Why do you want to create a law which will expose me and my information or force me to share this information with you so that you can send it outside? And I don't have any this thing against, I don't have any recourse at all. Now suppose my data is shared by a company in violation of this act. What is the, how do I process it? How do I make a complaint? First, I will have to make a complaint to the company, to the data protection officer appointed by the company, and convince him that what they are doing is violating the law. How many companies will accept it? Today, tomorrow, if you go to with a complaint to Adani's company and tell him that he is collecting data and misusing it, do you think that the Adani is going to accept it and say, oh, yes, boss, I violated the law, so you take this penalty? So he is going to say no to that. No, let me complete.
Please.
After this, suppose I am unhappy with the data protection officer's processing of my data, I have to make a complaint to the board. The board is in the center. It will be formed by the central government. A person sitting in Kanyakumari, how do you expect him to go all the way to Delhi to file a complaint with the board about his personal data on which he does not know anything and get a justice for that? Now, if I am not satisfied with the board's resolution, only then I can go to the High Court. Is this feasible? Is this feasible? Do you think that the ordinary man in the street will understand all this legal mumbo jumbo? Basically, this is the problem, Dr. Reddy. What is the opposition doing? Why can't, after all, this has come through a standing committee, why didn't they raise their voices there? Why haven't they made their dissent public? Why didn't they have a public debate on this act before implementing it? And implementing it after 25 years of sharing of data without a right to privacy act, what is the purpose of this act? The purpose is very simple. The purpose is very simple. European GDPR says that it will not share any data in Europe with any country which does not have laws compatible with it.
My God.
So today, if I open an account in Cyprus, or any other European Union country, and my personal data is stored there, I am safe. Now you know why Vijay Mallya and Nirav Modi go to Europe and UK. It is for this reason only.
So that means they are legitimizing it.
Yeah, they have legitimized it.
Legitimized all the looters who have looted banks, Indian finances,
Exactly.
Indian
You
resources.
can't access your personal information.
My God, such a big thing. Opposition Congress राहुल गांधी भारत जोड़ो, यहाँ भारत को लूट रहे हैं भाई. आप क्या कर रहे हैं? नींद में है क्या? ये जो
Now
पूरे
forget about
अकाउंट्स
the
जो
opposition.
मोदी के नाम पे जो आपको आपके ऊपर जो क्षति पहुंची कोर्ट के द्वारा, ये लोगों का आज पूरा कानूनी के दौर पर सही होगा ये एक्ट से. डाटा
And
स्टोरेज एक्ट.
now one more step, Dr. Reddy, through your platform, I want to make an appeal. Okay, we have got an ineffective opposition who is incapable of doing anything. Fine. What about the bar councils?
That's what.
This is a violation of the constitution. This is a violation of my personal freedom. Why is the bar council keeping quiet? Why haven't they objected to this?
Such a big issue. Shocking. It is shocking.
Now, there is another provision in the Act. The provision says that data fiduciaries, that is, the data fiduciaries means the people who collect the data to process it, they can be exempted from the sections which apply to children if it is required by the Government of India. It can be exempted from section 9(2)(c) and section 9(2), which is compliance. That is, they need not protect that data. Some institutions can be exempted by the government from protecting the data.
My goodness.
Then retention of data. If the government requires a data fiduciary to retain the data, even if I protest saying that my data should not be retained, still they can retain the data if the government says you can retain it. So there are so many obligations of a data fiduciary which can be exempted by the government at their free will. Or in other words, an executive, an IAS officer sitting in the central government in the rank of joint secretary or above, if he simply signs, your freedom of your right to privacy is compromised. Totally. Your fundamental right is affected by an executive's signature. I don't have to go to parliament to amend the constitution.
See, shame. Shocking. I don't know. Now I appeal to bar councils. What are you doing, my dear members? Such a direct attack on the constitution, on the freedom, on the privacy,
On my fundamental rights.
Fundamental rights. How is that the bars are keeping quiet? The learned court officers, we call advocates across India. Why are you keeping quiet? Pratipaksh gaya this thing. Opposition has gone somewhere. But why are you keeping quiet? It is not your duty. And also, Honorable Supreme Court and High Courts, you have to take it suo moto. You need to take it suo moto now, come whatever may, because silently they are trying to take away all the fundamental rights enshrined in our constitution by without even amending constitution. They are trying to do away with the right to privacy, Jan Vishwas Bill, right to health, resources, right to natural resources, every citizen's right to over natural resources, one by one, without even amending constitution, they are taking them away. That is why my petition to Election Commission of India on Prime Minister's qualification is more important in this context, because all those corporates who are trying to going to gain advantage and their nexus with administrators and political parties is they stand exposed now, because electoral bonds are opaque. You cannot get information in from electoral bonds, which corporate, how much it is funding. All this is a vicious circle. Now even parliament, you don't need to go to a parliament. A joint secretary of IS cadre, he can compromise with your privacy. That
No,
means
this is an
citizens.
issue.
Yes, sir.
Instead of protecting my personal data or instead of protecting my privacy, which are both fundamental rights, now the government has legalized the entire situation where it forces me to part. Now you were talking about Jan Vishwas, public health. In the interest of public health, the government can take your personal data and process it.
That's it. That's
Now,
what
where
they're
is
all.
the guarantee that they will be able to protect that data? We have seen in the case of COVID data which they collected and which was revealed, which was exposed.
Yes.
What happened now? How do I proceed against the government?
COVID data liquid, big issue. No one is speaking about
Yes,
that. Your
nobody is
personal
speaking
data
about
is
it.
gone for a toss.
What about the bank details which have been hacked and made public?
Yes.
How do I proceed against it? Now, if I tell the bank that your system has been hacked and the data is outside in the public domain, do you think that they are going to accept it? Now I have to approach the bank first to get my grievance resolved.
See, citizen
See,
as
it
a
is an
constitutional authority may
unimplementable.
compromise.
It is an unimplementable act as far as the citizen is concerned. As far as the government is concerned, they have protected all the measures which they have taken to obtain data from the public, like the amendment to the criminal procedure CRPC, where they have made a head constable responsible for asking the biometrics of
And
a
DNA
person.
too.
DNA too,
DNA.
including biometrics, include DNA.
Yeah.
Uh, so, what the government is effectively doing is incremental steps, one by one, they are infringing on the privacy of the citizen and on the personal data of the citizen. Incremental steps so that nobody will be able to protest against it. And this is the danger. We are slowly traveling towards a state of surveillance. And at one point, it will be too late to go back. Either we stand up and protest now, or we forget about all our fundamental rights. So with this, I would like to conclude my opinion about this data protection. It is not a protection act, it is a procurement act, and the government has protected itself from legal consequences by passing this act. That is all. Your privacy, your personal data is of no concern to the government.
So big statement made by Ravichandran Swaminathan ji.
Yes, sir.
My earnest appeal to RSS and all those BJP members. If you think your hard work making BJP to come to the power, if it has to be there in the larger interest of the people, India, Bharat, that means citizens, their rights, their resources, you need to come up. The way this government systematically, as he pointed out, trying to amend that Criminal Procedure Act. Can a constable collect your details? Bhagat ji, RSS ji, if a constable comes, tomorrow if NDA is out of power, the same acts will be there with UPA or
Yes.
whoever. Mr. Bhagat ji, what will happen to you? A constable will come and collect your NDA and everything. Will you allow? Such amendments they have made. संविधान में इस तरह छूट कर दिए कि क्रिमिनल प्रोसीजर एक्ट में कोई एक कांस्टेबल भी आपके पास आ सकता है और आपका खून या आपका पूरा डीएनए पूरा ले सकता है. क्या हम चुप बैठे? उसी के दौर पर जन विश्वास बिल. भगत जी, दिस इज अर्नेस्ट अपील टू यू, आरएसएस एंड ऑल दोस बीजेपी फंक्शनरीज, बिकॉज प्रतिपक्ष तो गया, प्रतिपक्ष कुछ नहीं कर रहा, because opposition has gone for a toss. They are not worried about the issues concerning India, its citizens, rights and resources, and transparency and accountability. We salute Manmohan Singh. He has done something good. He has put Suresh Kalmadi in Commonwealth scheme behind bars. He made that issue open, corruption. And in 2G, he has not allowed even his supporting parties, the DMK, Raja and Kanimoli, send them to jail. But after that, what has happened? Did this government move it forward? क्या उनको आगे लेके गया? क्यों आर 2G का बात नहीं होता और कॉमनवेल्थ हो और इस तरह कई मुद्दे हैं और उनका ओन ब्लैक मनी, काला धन बाहर से लाने का, 15 लाख एक एक अकाउंट में आने का। काला धन क्या हुआ? ये काला धन को सही तरीके से कानूनी करने के लिए ये आज का बिल। इसीलिए मेरी विनती है, आप चर्चा कीजिए इसके ऊपर, हमको गलत साबित कीजिए, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, हम महात्मा नहीं है। अगर हम कोई कुछ बता रहे हैं आज, कितनी भारत को आने वाले दिन की वर्तमान ही हर एक नागरिक का वर्तमान जीने का हक से वो प्राइवेसी है, वो जिस तरह वो निजी मामले में जीता है, उसके समाचार का प्रमाद में है। आप चर्चा कीजिए। अगर हम कुछ गलत है, मैं विनती कर रहा हूं आरएसएस और बीजेपी सभी गण को जो पालक पक्ष में है, क्योंकि प्रतिपक्ष इसके ऊपर कुछ बात ही नहीं कर रहा। वो नवंबर 8 2016 डिमॉनिटाइजेशन के बाद में ये सब लोग घट गए, लेकिन यही शासन अगर इस तरह आम नागरिक का जीने का हक, उसके स्वास्थ्य का हक, जन विश्वास 2023 का बिल और बायोडाइवर्सिटी बिल, जो भी हमारे पानी से लेके हवा तक जो रिसोर्सेस है, हम जिसके साथ मिलजुल के हम जीते हैं, जीवन वैविध्यता बताते हैं, उसका कोई अता नहीं पता नहीं। स्वास्थ्य गया और जीवन वैविध्य बायोडाइवर्सिटी बिल गया, और ऑलरेडी क्रिमिनल प्रोसीजर एक्ट, एक कांस्टेबल भी आके आपसे सब कुछ ले सकता है, डीएनए वगैरह। और आज का ये डाटा प्रोटेक्शन नहीं, डाटा प्रोक्यूरमेंट, आपका पूरा निजी समाचार ले रहे हैं ये लोग, ताकि जो बाहर जो लोग हैं, जो हमको डुबा के गए लोग, उनको आज कानूनी के दौर पर वहां जीने का हक मिलता है। यूरोपियन कमीशन का एक था, उसको ये करने के लिए पूरा भारत को इस तरह गिरवी रखना क्या सही है? ये इसी के वजह से हम ये पार्टी को चुना है क्या? और बिना कोई चर्चा पंचायत से ऐसे बिल जो हर एक नागरिक और उसकी व्यवस्था, उसके नेचर, उसका रिसोर्सेस के ऊपर उसका हक जाने वाली, और वो निजी मामला, उसका जो पर्सनल डाटा, उसके ऊपर भी उसका हक जाएगा। जीने का हक गया, निजी मामला, निजी समाचार का हक, स्वास्थ्य का हक, और आपके पूरे जीवन वैविध्य जो हम कहते हैं प्रकृति हर एक नागरिक का हिस्सा है, वो हक है, वो उसके ऊपर भी आज सब कुछ खत्म। इस तरह अगर बिना चर्चा पंचायत में, पुरपालक शाखा में हो या विधानसभा में, बाद में पार्लियामेंट लोकसभा में चर्चा होनी चाहिए। हर एक नागरिक को समझना चाहिए, क्योंकि हर एक नागरिक जो है संविधान है। क्या ये हर एक नागरिक संविधान को खत्म करने की बड़ी साजिश है क्या ये? आप सोचिए, कल इंडियन नहीं होगा तो क्या होगा? और जो भी फायदा मंद है, वो जो भी पैसे देते हैं पार्टी को, जिसको चुनना है, और वोटर महाशय को भी खरीदते हैं वो पैसे से, क्या इस तरह संविधान और हमारी लोकतंत्र चलेगा? इसी के खिलाफ तो लड़के आई है ये, इसीलिए आपसे हमारी विनती है, ये आप सोचिए, वरना देर हो जाएगी, इसी के वजह से इलेक्ट्रल बॉन्ड्स बिल जो ये सब सरकार ने लाई है, ना कोई समाचार नागरिक को मिलता है, कौन सी कारपोरेट कंपनी कितना पैसा दे रहा है, क्यों ऐसे बिल लाई है सरकार ये? इसके वजह यही है क्या, एक के बाद एक जो बिल्स पारित हुए हैं ये, ताकि नागरिक जो संविधान खुद है उसके पूरे हक छीने जाएंगे, और साथ में जो प्रकृति सहज सिद्ध जो भी है उसका है, उसके ऊपर भी अंश होगा, ताकि ये गुलाम बन जाएगा। ये ईस्ट इंडिया ब्रिटिश के वो जमाने से इस तरह गुलामी और ज्यादा तकलीफ होगी भारत को, आप सोचिए। This is earnest appeal to RSS and BJP, because opposition has gone for a toss. It is not discussing right from amendment to Criminal Procedure Act, even a constable can take all the data, including DNA. How can they do that? With due respects to them, what are their qualifications? Do they have any idea about the crime and all? They do their wonderful job, but unfortunately, they are being pressured to do all this without their knowledge. And in doing so, the Jan Vishwas Bill 2023, your body has become an experimental animal with due respects to all those animals. How they have been experimenting on animals on the labs. The same pharmacy can do it on you. You cannot speak anything because there is nothing criminal about it. The same Biodiversity Act, as and when they want, they can boss over your resources from water to air, including all minerals. You will not have anything to say because no criminal case can be filed. That is going to destroy the environment in which you are going to survive. Now this data, is it protection? He has clearly exposed this is procurement bill in lieu of the amendments made to Criminal Procedure Act, Jan Vishwas, Biodiversity, and now comes this data protection or data procurement, so that they collect all your personal information too, so that they have enslaved you once for all. Because in India we are a republic having submitted constitution to ourselves. That means ineffectively every citizen is a constitutional authority, right from prime minister to chief minister, cabinet secretary to the chief secretary of the state. They are all public servants. Now that definition has been changed by these amendments which are being made, right from amendment to Criminal Procedure Act to the latest, including Jan Vishwas 2023 Biodiversity Act, now the latest, the Data Protection Act, enslaving you, removing all those the constitutional guarantees, the rights, including the fundamental rights and rights over resources. Everything is gone for a toss. That is why my earnest appeal to RSS and BJP, because opposition is not doing anything, and to all those bar associations across India. How is that you are not able to understand? You are supposed to educate us. How is that you are keeping quiet? And in tune, my appeal to Supreme Court of India and all high courts, come to the rescue. Otherwise, all your families have to live in the same changed circumstances. They are going to enslave us once for all. No constitution, no fundamental rights, no rights over your resources. And if you question, a constable will come collect all that. And this data protection procurement bill, we already would have collected all the data without your notice. Every information will be there. Even if you raise a small protest, if you question the government, you are behind jails, or they will ruin your financial aspects, as they are doing when I have complained right from December 7, 2018 of constitutional violations to Election Commission of India, to the education qualifications of the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, as a concerned citizen. Now you cannot have the Right to Information Act, how it is being destroyed. The famous act which bought by Congress, what is it doing, UPA? Why are they keeping quiet? Is it because of November 8, 2016 demonetization? That is why now people should become, the concerned citizens should become aware. No party is going to come to your rescue. It is your fundamental, your right to life, right to privacy, your right over the resources, your right to health. Everything is being compromised. Without question, a constable, if you speak, a constable will come and collect your DNA, all your biometrics. Shall we keep quiet? Because Parliament is not discussing DRTSPR channels through wonderful guests like Ravichandran, Swaminathanji, trying to create that awareness by disseminating information. You have every right to prove us wrong. Come with evidences. Our guests will come. We will debate. Prove us wrong. If not, the role of these concerned citizens, as per Article 51A, becomes much more evident. Now, if you don't act now, your present is gone and your future of your own family and children is gone, along with fundamental rights and resources. You have nothing to say except being enslaved once for all, think and act. Sir, any passing comment?
I'll take leave, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. And this will be repeated. And I only hope we have done justice. Anyone can correct us. And in tune, we expect, as we keep on saying, Bharat Jago. India, become aware. Every citizen should act. Otherwise, this will be, believe me, worse than what East India and British has done to us. Don't forget, this is another struggle for our independence to safeguard our fundamental rights, that we are a constitution to ourselves. If you don't act now, it will be too late in the day, as you will succumb to the guiles of European Commission and all those Western these things. They will start controlling you once your data is gone out, and in doing so they are regularizing all these looters, Mr. Nirav, or all those who have destroyed the banking system, financial systems, who have run away. And the same I'm reminding to both Amit Shah and Modi. When you said Kala Dhan wapis layenge, you said you will bring back black money. In doing so, is this act going to help them? Is this act not going to help all those looters? Will black money ever come back to India? Or you are regularizing all those shell companies and all those black money looters? It is left to you. My only concern is, wake up, citizens. Otherwise, we are gone. Thank you very much. Do support DRTSPR channel, Citizen DRTSPR channel, and Environment People DRTSPR channels. They are all in larger public interest only. The tagline is very simple and clear: no enmity against individual, nor animosity against parties or organizations. Issue as per rule of law, Constitution, invoking Evidential Act. Kindly prove us wrong. We invite you. In the flyer, my mobile number is there. If you want, 9440465339. You are most welcome to debate with us. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. I'll take leave.